Hello, this is Hans from AG Web Design, and this video is about tooltips in Webflow. There are many ways to create tooltips, but I want to make one that's native to Webflow, so without any extra JavaScript or whatsoever, just making use of the tools that are built in Webflow already. You can see this is a Webflow website I'm building for a film house in our neighborhood, and it's a little bit old design, but that's what I wanted. So this site was in the past was a Drupal site, and because of Drupal is getting to evaluate, this is a Drupal 7 site. Was a Drupal 7 site, and now it's going to Drupal 9, so I have to rebuild everything in Drupal, and that wasn't very attractive to me. So it was very expensive also for the club, because it will take me a lot of time to build everything again in Drupal, and Webflow is a lot easier to do this. So that said, I had to make some tooltips, because in the old website these icons had tooltips on them. These are the icons for what are they? Kijkwijzer, we call it in Holland. That are indicators for ratings, film ratings. This is abuse, this is fear, and this is for 12 years and older. So how did I do this? How did I make this in Webflow without any other JavaScript? How do you call this? External JavaScript. This is a dynamic page, and all the information on this page is coming from a CMS. So the tooltips also. And that was the problem, because dynamic tooltips coming from a CMS, to give them this hover effect was difficult, because I can't give the CMS fields a class. In Drupal you can, then you can give every field, you give their own class, but in Webflow that's not possible. I didn't figure out how to do this already, maybe you do, but I didn't. So that was a difficulty, to make this dynamic. But you see, it works now. The solution I found is quite easy. So how do they do this? As you can see, this is the editor, and here you see all the fields together. But as we go to the editor here, you can see this is a page, how it's built up, and you see here the collection item, there the items coming from, and you see I made a kijkwijzer and here a tooltip block, and the information from this kijkwijzer field is coming from the CMS kijkwijzer icon, and it's getting all text, kijkwijzer text, and the tooltip block gets this information from the same CMS, but the kijkwijzer text, so the movie of the text from which I want to display when I hover over this icon. Let's see how this looks in the CMS. This is the kijkwijzer icon, and here you see all the different indicators. Here you see the icon, it's SVGs, and here's the text that you can give them. This is where the information comes from when you hover over it. just showed you the Kijkwijzer icons, so this is the CMS where the icons are coming from, and this is the CMS where they are used. And as you can see, I make here this Kijkwijzer multi-reference field. So when I have a movie, let's see, taking the last one, then you can see I can choose here from all the icons with a maximum of 5. That's the Drupal of a Webflow thing. So, and that's so. Back to my film template. This is a page. It's a dynamic page, film template, and here are the Kijkwijzer icons. And here I made a text block with a tooltip. The other thing that you have to do is to make them hover. When you hover the icon, the block appears, so that you have, and then you have to use interactions. So I made an interaction for this icon that I called mouse hover, tooltip show and tooltip out. And when I look at them, when I click configure, I can see I make the tooltip block hide and give it an opacity of 0, and on hover I give it the tooltip block the what you call this, I don't know, it shows, and the opacity is going to 100%. Why the opacity? Because otherwise you can't give effects to this hide and show. Let's see, you see the easing is not functioning on hide and show, so you have to use opacity to make it happen. Opacity I don't have. I have a linear show because I don't think that any easings on this is very helpful or do anything. So linear is okay with me. So you get a nice showing effect. The other thing what's a little bit tricky is, and on mouse out, of course, there you get the tooltip, only height and opacity to 0. So that's it. The position of the tool block, that's a little bit difficult because you didn't show you that yet, because they are all wrapped up in a collection item that I gave the position a relative, and then the Kijkwijzer is has no position at all, and the tooltip block is absolute with no settings here, because when you use one of these then everything goes bonkers. But I didn't give this too much attention because I like this solution. So, but maybe you can figure out how you can change the position of this text block showing when you hover over it in a different position. But as far as I know, this one is the only position that works for me. So if you want to make dynamic tooltips natively in Webflow, then this is my solution. Maybe you have another solution, a better solution. When you do, please tell me, because I am eager to know what you found. Yes? Okay, this was Hans van Aagje Webdesign. Greetings.